Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Daffa Praditya Devano and I'm from Changkaran campuses, majoring in English literature and currently attending sixth semester. And now I'm about to present one of the interesting topics to discuss today, which is under the subject of classroom management, where we are going to learn about how to resolving classroom conflict. Without any further ado, let's get started. So in this presentation, we will explore more how conflict within the classroom can be solved by applying classroom management methods. There are three study cases that required us to think logically in solving the problem while keeping our behavior under control since we are dealing with students who sometimes express unexpected yet intrusive behavior. So in this presentation, I'm about to bring you up to the cases where this is unusually case in the classroom, but you probably would find something like this when you are teaching in front of the class. So the first study case that we are about to solve is that Miss Johnson is a fifth grade teacher who have more than 10 years experience. This year, she has to name Alex, who frequently displays aggressive behavior. He often interrupts lessons, talking back, even physically aggressive towards his classmates. She has tried various strategies, yet it's not effectively work. So what should she do? So accordingly, we have to analyze that what kind of problem that Alex have Alex has in class. So this is the way of how we can deal with Alex's behavior. First is uh, the strategist is the first is we have to do behavior contract, and then secondly there is a regular emotional control, and then last one is individualized support. So for the first strategies that we are about to conduct it here is that she can work with Alex to create a behavioral contract. This involves collaboratively setting specific behavior goals with Alex, outlining expected behaviors. This strategy also provides clarity and structure for Alex regarding his behavior expectations. It also gives him ownership and responsibility for his actions. And there must be a regular reviews and adjustment involved to reinforce positive behavior forward. So in this case, we are not only encouraging Alex to do more positive behavior, but also to give him a sense of ownership to and responsibility to himself. Because sometimes when we are giving something that not really not really approachable for them, then they might probably would rebel and also against us. So it's also important to consider that we have to think about the behavior contracts that possible for me, for us as a teacher, and also for the students. In this case, it's Alex. And secondly is regular emotional control. So by implementing these regularizations, it can benefit not only Alex, but the entire class. These sessions can teach Alex alternative ways to express his emotions and manage conflict constructively. It empowers him to use communication strategies that are non-aggressive and fosters a more positive classroom environment where conflicts are resolved peacefully. So regular emotional control is basically involving not only the actors of the rebelliers, but also the teachers and then the other stakeholders that might have to involve in these cases. And then last but not least is individual support. So she can collaborate with school counselor or psychologist to provide Alex with individual support. This professional support can help Alex explore the underlying reasons for his aggressive behavior, such as social emotional challenges or external stressors. And this also provides Ms. Johnson, the teacher herself, with insights and strategies tailored to Alex's needs, fostering holistic approach. Okay, that was that was the first case, and now we're about to move to the second study case that we're about to discuss today. So the second study case is that Mr. Smith is a seventh grade math teacher who has noticed that several students in his class frequently engage in off-task behavior during lessons. These students often daydream, chat with classmates, or use their phone instead of focusing on their work. He has tried various attempts, but it doesn't work effectively. So what should he do? Here are the three strategies that I have been analyzed, and also this is one of the most appropriate ways or strategies to implement to by Mr. Smith. So the first one is behavioral tracking systems. The second one is clear expectations and procedures. And then last but not least is interactive instructional strategies. So the behavioral tracking system is basically Mr. Smith established this tracking system to record instantly on task and off task behavior for each student. So this can be done easily through simple tally sheet. So this actually didn't have to involve the student, but only to assessing by ourselves towards the student's behavior. So using Google spreadsheet or Microsoft Excels or anything that could help to tracking this on task and off task behavior. And by doing this, he can gain objective data on when the off task behavior occurs. This data can help him identify patterns such as specific time activity that trigger off task behavior. Moreover, this system also can provide basis for constructive discussions with parents, fostering accountability and awareness. So by doing this tracking system, we as a teacher knows like when the students get their off task triggered. So we can kind of like change the pattern. So when the students kind of like seems like they are about to doing their off task or triggering their off task behavior, then we can change the activities pattern so they didn't easily get triggered by the off task behavior. And also, if the problems continues, then we have the objective data to be discussed with the parents and also the other teachers and also to the student itself to know how they are behaving during the class. So this is more like accountable and also raising the awareness of the student itself, and also it's not just based on assumptions, but basically according to the data that we have. And then secondly is clear expectations and procedures. So Mr. Smith Shaw established clear expectations and procedures for behavior during lessons. So this include explicitly starting what on-task behavior and off-task behaviors looks like. So with these regulations, it could provide students with a framework for appropriate behavior, reducing ambiguity and potential misunderstanding. So as a teacher, we also have to notes that sometimes students that just didn't get what we want to try to implement or what we want to try to convey in class. So at the very beginning, before the class going on or before the class beginning, we have to set a clear expectation procedures during our class. So it's also important that teachers have to establish their own procedures, rules, and terms during their class because, of course, students expect something from us as a teacher because we are the provider of the knowledge that they want to know, and also to give them the clarity of what this class will look like. Last but not least is interactive instructional strategies. So by varying instructional strategies and incorporating interactive and hands-on activities, it would capture students' interest and motivations. So it also stimulates the students to resort off task behavior. It also could equip them with necessary skill needed, either soft and hard skills. So instructional strategies basically means that we have to varying kind of activities that we are doing or we are engaging with the students during the class. So sometimes students get bored with the same patterns all semesters or all years. because we are not really creative in a way of encouraging and engaging students to be more interactive and also active during the class. So we kind of like have to find a way where students and us could have meet the middle way, to be able to understand each other, to be able to meet the expectations that we have to the students and also students that students have to us as a teacher. And then we move on to the third study case. So in this study case, Miss Brown is an eighth grade English teacher who is facing challenges with a student named Jack. He frequently exhibits disruptive behavior in class, such as talking out of turn, making inappropriate comments, and distracting other students. She has tried various strategies, but it's not effective work. So what should she do? Okay, there are also three strategies for these cases. The first is behavior-specific goals. Secondly is individualized behavior plan, and the last one is reward system. And we're about to elaborate each of these points that I would like to present to you now. So for the behavior specific goals is basically a behavior contract like the previous one with Jake that outlines specific goals he needs to achieve, but it's more specific than the previous one. And these should be achievable and directly address the disruptive behavior he exhibits. So it's not like a punishment. It's like we are sometimes, off our uh, of our mind to give them a specific contract. So it has to be really specific in terms of what the sort of behaviors he does. So by involving him in setting goals and agreeing on consequences, it encouraged Jack to take ownership of his behavior, and there must be a regular review to discuss the progress. Of course, there must always be a regular reviews for this one because if it's not, then it would probably not really effective and also not really addressing the problem that Jake has and then the teachers has. Next one is individualized behavior plan. So she can develop an individualized behavior plan that includes specific strategies tailored to Jack's needs and triggers for disruptive behavior. This could involve strategies such as providing Jack with alternative ways to express himself, for example, like raising hand to speak, incorporating regular check-ins with Jake to discuss his feelings and concerns, and implementing proactive intervention. So it's basically necessary for us as a teachers to know what the student's feelings about his life or his activities during the school or during the lesson. So as a teacher, if we have some students that might face a problem either from external or internal, we have to know what he is concerned about and also what he is faced of. And because of sometimes some internal, you know, some internal problems could affect um the performance of the students itself. So it's basically we need to really, really emphasize on the point where we have to know and we have to understand what the students is concerned about. So we have to do regular check-ins with the students, not only with Jack, but also it could be applied to another students, to other students, the rest of the class. And then last but not least is reward system. So she can actually implement a positive behavior reinforcement system where Jack earns rewards or privileges for demonstrating positive behaviors and meeting behavioral expectations. So because it's basically it can motivate Jack to engage in a desired behaviors by rewarding him for making progress towards behavior goals. So it's totally fine for us to implement a reward system. But this rewards is not merely limited to money or to kind of like material benefits, but it also could be a non-material benefit such as like support or like psychological support or tutorial support or something that could really develop himself to be more positive, to have positive behavior towards. Okay, all right. That's all for this presentations or to the discussion. I hope you enjoyed the material and also understood comprehensively about what I have been presented to you. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.